For decades, we've only ever seen them in science fiction. Robots that look and move and act just like us. But now, thanks to these unbelievable leaps in artificial intelligence, humanoid robots are literally leaping off the screen and onto the factory floor. What was once just imagination is now, very quickly, becoming our reality.
Yeah, that's not just some movie tagline anymore. It's what's happening right now. A global race is officially on to develop robots that can do human jobs, and a really remarkable machine named Atlas is without a doubt leading the pack.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start right on the factory floor with Atlas. Then we'll get into how it's evolved and, this is the cool part, how it actually learns. From there, we'll tackle the big myths versus the reality, look at the global race for this technology, and finally, take a peek at what tomorrow might look like.
All right, let's dive right in. Our story begins not in some futuristic top-secret lab, but at a very real Hyundai auto plant down in Georgia. And this is where Atlas has taken its first ever steps into the real world. So, meet Atlas. He's about 5'9", 200 pounds, and completely AI-powered. It was created by the legendary Boston Dynamics. And seeing it here, autonomously sorting car parts in a real warehouse, well, that's a huge, huge milestone. This is the very first time it has ever worked outside of the lab.
And this quote from the head of Atlas Development, Zach Turkowski, it really just humanizes the whole moment. I mean, think about it. After a full year of prep, he's just watching his creation work all on its own, out in the wild. It's not just a machine to him, it's the result of countless hours of human ingenuity. And even he's on the edge of his seat to see what happens. Now, the Atlas that we're seeing today is a whole different beast from its predecessors. This isn't just a simple upgrade, it's a complete transformation, a total rethink of what a humanoid robot can even be. The key difference between the old Atlas and the new one, well, it's just profound. The 2021 version was impressive, for sure. It could run and jump using this bulky hydraulic system, all based on code written by humans. But today's Atlas, it's sleek, it's all electric, and it's powered by an actual AI brain. It doesn't just follow instructions, it learns and adapts all by itself. Okay, so the phrase, "a robot learns," it sounds like something straight out of a movie. But how does it actually work? Well, it turns out it's this fascinating mix of human guidance and pure machine intelligence. So how does Atlas learn a new skill? It starts with a person. An operator can put on a VR headset and literally guide the robot's hands through a task. Or you can have someone in a motion capture suit perform an action, which creates a kind of data blueprint. But the real magic, that happens next, inside a virtual simulation. And this is where the learning process just scales up massively. That human-generated data gets fed into a simulation where 4,000 digital versions of Atlas practice a skill for hours and hours. They run into problems like slippery floors or stiff joints, and they learn from every single mistake. And here's the kicker. Once it's mastered in the virtual world, that skill can be uploaded to every single physical Atlas robot. The best way to think about it is with this free throws analogy. If you just let a kid shoot hoops over and over, they'll explore and might come up with a totally unique technique that just works for them. It's the same for Atlas. In that simulation, it can discover solutions and movements that a human engineer might never have even thought to program in the first place. So, an AI-powered robot that learns on its own and can pull off these almost superhuman feats, that naturally brings up some pretty big questions. And, let's be honest, some pretty big fears. Understanding how it learns is really key to understanding what it can and can't do. So let's separate the myth from the reality. It's the question on everyone's mind when they see a machine this capable, isn't it? Does all this incredible progress come with some kind of hidden danger? This table really puts things into perspective. Yes, Atlas can do superhuman things, run, jump, do cartwheels, but the simple, delicate tasks that we do every single day without thinking, like just putting on a shirt or pouring a cup of coffee, are still way, way too difficult. Our everyday common sense is still a huge hurdle for robotics. And all this leads to two main public concerns. First, you've got the classic science fiction nightmare, the Terminator problem. Are these things going to become sentient and turn on us? And second, a much more immediate fear, are they going to take our jobs?
On that first point, the CEO of Boston Dynamics, Robert Platter, offers this perspective. He basically argues that if you could see the immense, painstaking effort it takes to get Atlas to do even simple things, that fear of it suddenly becoming a sentient threat would pretty much disappear. And as for jobs,
The vision they're presenting isn't one of replacement, but of transformation. The whole idea is that robots will take over the most repetitive, dangerous, and backbreaking jobs, which in turn will create brand new human jobs in building, managing, training, and servicing these incredibly complex machines.
Now, this technological breakthrough isn't just happening in a vacuum. It's a huge part of an intense global competition with absolutely massive economic stakes. The sheer amount of money we're talking about here is just staggering. Goldman Sachs predicts the market for humanoid robots is going to hit $38 billion in less than a decade. I mean, that's a powerful, powerful incentive driving this race to perfect the technology.
And this gives us a great snapshot of the current race. Right now, U.S. companies like Boston Dynamics seem to have the technical lead. However, and this is a big however, China has made winning the robotics race a national mission, and the sheer scale of its investment is closing that gap really, really fast.
What's crystal clear is that we're witnessing the very beginning of a profound shift. The work being done with Atlas today is laying the foundation for a future that's going to look very, very different.
The ultimate vision, the end goal described by both Hyundai and Boston Dynamics, is a future of collaboration. It's a world where humanoid robots aren't seen as a threat, but as a tool, working right beside us, walking among us, and taking on the jobs that are just too dangerous, too difficult, or too demanding for people.
So it's really no longer a question of if this future is coming, but when. We are at the very start of a journey into a world we've only ever imagined in movies. The real question we have to ask ourselves now is, are we ready for it?